Hello my dear students, how are you today? Today we will start the last unit in this term, and this lesson talk about the nervous system. Let's start. The nervous system. What is meant by the nervous system? Nervous system, it's the system that's responsible for communication and controlling all the body systems. So the nervous system is the controller. It communicate and control all other body system. Why? First, because it controls and regulates the vital operations of the body as it receives the information from the environment and from the body. Then it interprets this information and make the body respond to it. Means when we breathe, the systems that control the breathing process, okay, of course, it is not the respiratory system. Respiratory system is the system that's responsible for the breathing, but the systems that responsible that control this process is the nervous system. Also, when we feel hungry, another one, when you see, that means the image is translated to your brain, and the brain translate this picture and tells you what you see. Also, when you feel thirsty, the systems that control this is the nervous system. So the nervous system is the system that's responsible for controlling all the body systems, all other body systems. Also, it's responsible for communication. If you see any danger, your eye see it, then your brain prepare or translate this into action. Number two, it's responsible for knowing if the things are hot or cold, smooth or rough, sweet or bitter, due to the presence of the brain that control all the five senses. After this, it adjusts the response that required emotions, so it makes you feel happy or sad, angry or calm. All of these emotions, the nervous system is the system that control these emotions. And also it oversees and regulates the multiple function performed by the human body, such as moving, feeding, digestion, breathing and thinking. All of these, the nervous system is the system that control all of these activities. Okay, the nervous system, as any system, it control for building unit. These building unit called neuron. What is meant by it? The neuron here is the building unit for the nervous system, and it has another name, and it's called nerve cell. So the neuron is the building unit of the nervous system, and also we can see it as the nerve cell. The nerve cell here consists of two main parts, and they are the cell body and the axon. Again, the nerve cell consists of two parts, and they are the cell body and the axon. Starting with the cell body. The cell body, as we see here, it consists of nucleus in the middle, surrounded by the cytoplasm and surrounded by plasma membrane, and the branches here, as we see it, called dendrites. And the importance of dendrites is to connect to another neighboring nerve cell. Means it connects the two nerve cells together. The second structure of the nerve cell is the axon. The axon here is covered with a fatty layer. This fatty layer called myelin sheath. Again, the axon, it's a cylindrical ax, and it covered with a fatty layer. This fatty layer called myelin sheath. And at the end of the axon, there are axon terminals. The axon terminals here connected to two things. It can connect with the dendrites, forming the synapse or the synaptic area, or it can connect with the muscles. So the axon can connect with the dendrites of another nerve cell, or it can connect with the muscles. When the axon terminals connect with dendrites, it will form synapse. What is meant by the synapse? Synapse is the area where the two nerve cells meet. Again, synapse, it's the area where the two nerve cells meet. This is the main building unit for the nervous system. Let's continue. The nervous system. What is the importance of the nervous system and what is the structure of the nervous system? That's what we are going to study. The nervous system is divided into two major systems, and they are central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Starting with the central nervous system. The central nervous system is also divided into two parts, and they are the brain and the spinal cord. Again, the central nervous system consists of the brain and the spinal cord. We will start with the brain, and it's the most important organ in the nervous system. The brain. The brain, as we see here, it's a nerve block, contain millions of nerve cells, and it's the main control center in your body. Again, the brain, as we see here in this picture, okay, it's a nerve block, contain millions of nerve cells, and it's the main control center of the human body. As we know, the location of the brain is in the skull. Okay, what is the importance of the skull? The importance of the skull, it protects the brain. The brain is one of the most important organ in our body, so it must be protected very well. So it's located inside the skull to protect it. What is the function of the brain? The brain it direct and coordinate all the processes, ideas, behaviors, and emotion. Anything that you do, the brain is responsible for it. If you want to move, to eat, to be happy, when you become happy or sad or whatever the feeling that you feel, the brain is the one that's responsible for these feelings. What is the structure of the brain? The brain, it's a nerve block, so it can be divided into many parts. Let's start with the first part of the brain. The brain of the human is similar to the sheep brain, where it consists of three main parts, and they are the cerebrum, medulla oblongata. These are the three main parts of the brain. Starting with the cerebrum. The cerebrum can be called also two cerebral hemisphere. Again, the cerebrum can be called also two cerebral hemispheres, and it's the largest part of the brain. And it also divided into two halves, right half and the left half, or the right hemispheres and the left hemispheres. The left and right hemispheres, they are separated by fissures and connected through nerve fiber. Again, the two halves of the brain are divided and separated by fissure and connected with nerve fiber. The outer layer of the cerebrum is a gray matter, and it's called cerebral cortex. Again, the outer layer of the brain or of the cerebrum called cerebral cortex or the gray matter, and it's colored gray, of course. The two cerebellar hemispheres have many convolutions and folds. What is the function of the cerebrum? Cerebrum, it contains the thinking and memory. Again, cerebrum, it contains thinking and memory centers. Means when you think in anything or you want to remember anything, the part of the brain that's responsible for this action is the cerebrum. Don't forget it. The second, it controls the voluntary actions or voluntary movement. Anything that you can do with your own self, by controlling it, when you think in it, the part of the brain that's responsible for it is the cerebrum. Cerebrum control the voluntary actions such as walking and running. When you want to walk, when you want to run, when you want to do anything, when you want to raise your hand, the part of the brain that's responsible for this action is cerebrum. The third one, that the cerebrum receives the nerve impulse from the sense organs like the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the skin, and respond to them. Means if you see any danger things come to you, your brain immediately transfer this information and respond to it to avoid it. If you see any danger come to you or something may harm you, you will avoid it immediately due to the cerebellum. The second part is called cerebellum. Don't mix them together. Cerebellum, the first part. The second part, cerebellum. The cerebellum, it's located at the back area of the brain below the two hemispheres. Again, the cerebellum, it's located at the back area of the brain below the two hemispheres. What is the function of the cerebellum? The cerebellum, its function to maintain the balance during movement. Again, it maintain the balance during movement. Means it prevent you from slipping down during running. So this is the importance of cerebellum. The third part is medulla oblongata. It located below the two hemispheres in front of the cerebellum, and it connects the brain with the spinal cord, and its function to control involuntary processes. Involuntary processes, these are the processes that you can't control in it. Like what? Like the heartbeat, like the breathing, like the movement of your digestive system. You can't control these processes, but the part of the brain that's responsible for these processes is the medulla oblongata. The second part of the brain is the spinal cord. The spinal cord, it extends in the series of vertebrae called vertebral column, and it's cylindrical cord from which the spinal nerve extend. The location as we see it, it extend in the channel within series of the vertebrae in the back or the vertebral column. Why? For protection. The spinal cord consists of what? It consists of internal gray matter with the shape of letter H. Again, it consists of internal, means from the inside, it's a gray matter in the shape of letter H. And external, it consists of white matter. It is the opposite of the brain. The brain, the outer part of the brain is a gray matter, while the inner part is the white matter. The spinal cord is the opposite. The inner part of the spinal cord is gray matter in the shape of letter H, and the external part is a white matter. What is the function of the spinal cord? The spinal cord delivers the nerve messages from the body organs to the brain and vice versa. Again, it delivers the nerve messages from the body organs to the brain and vice versa, and it's responsible for the reflex actions. It's responsible for what? The reflex actions. What is meant by reflex actions? We will study it in details in the next video, inshallah. Okay, the reflex actions such as the withdraw your hand when you touch a hot or sharp object. Again, the withdraw your hand when you touch a hot or sharp object. You move your hand quickly. Due to what? Due to the reflex action. And the organ that's responsible for the reflex action is the spinal cord. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching and see you next time, inshallah. And if you need anything, you can contact with me directly from one of the social pages, or you can scan my WhatsApp QR code to contact with me directly. So thank you for watching and see you next time, inshallah, and goodbye.